Alright, this is Chad with Theo's Wet Pets. If you're curious why my name is Chad and the channel is Theo's Wet Pets, well, that's because Theo is my son. This is actually a way for my son to look back later on in life, and see what his dad was up to in the 2020s. This is a 55-gallon tank. We are currently using it for a grow-out tank before moving the fish over to a 125 that we keep in the dining room. In this tank, we have a gold severum, a female Jack Dempsey, female electric blue Jack Dempsey, female green terrier, and 4 Geophagus tapajos. I believe it is 4 males and 1 female with the tapajos. We also have a 7 to 8 inch Delhaize Basher. Fish we're talking about today is actually the electric blue Jack Dempsey. That seems to be the one that, out of this tank anyways, most people have the highest appreciation for. So, let's see if we can get in a little closer and get some V-roll of this. Gorgeous fish. Absolutely gorgeous. We actually call this Elsa. Started thinking maybe a male. If it is, probably change its name to Ellis. That's the green terrier, and here comes the severum. Also a gorgeous fish, one of my favorites. Back to the Jack Dempsey. We picked this fish up from Pet Depot here in our hometown at about 1 inch long. When buying one of these, you want to make sure the fish has a nice plump belly. You don't want it to look like it's constipated, but a normal abdomen. You want to make sure the jawline is straight. Is a big thing. And you want to make sure they have a nice round nose or face. Some of these get what's called a beaked look to them. And if you notice on this one here, his face does look like it has 2 humps, almost like a beak. You want them to look more like a regular Jack Dempsey. Right here, who is not going to come out, of course. Like I said, we got her in May of this year at 1 inch. I'd say in the first month she probably grew about 3/4 to an inch. And here we are now in early October, and I'd say she's probably pushing 4.5 to 5 inches. These fish are usually pretty finicky. I will say that we have had more than one of these, and this is the first one that actually done very well. It is continuing to do very well. I would suggest really large water changes. For the first 2 months of this fish's life, we actually done 75, and there's the basher. We actually done 75 to 90% water changes every other day. We also seen explosive growth from all of these fish by doing so. Whereas we usually in the past have done, 50% water changes once or twice a week, and we don't see near the growth that we do from heavy water changes. When you change the water in your tank, you're not just clearing up the water and making it look clean again, and getting all the funk out. You're actually replacing minerals that are much needed for the fish to have proper growth. This one going nuts here is one of my favorites. I say that about all these fish, but I do genuinely love these fish. Back to this one here. She's actually got more of that holographic look to her now, more so than she did when she was young. With these fish, they'll typically either gain it or lose that blue look. I'm not sure if there's a telltale feature you can look for when they're young to kind of know whether or not the fish is going to look good as an older specimen or not. But for us, like I said, we've gotten lucky with this one. We'll also say, as far as diet goes with these fish, you do want to feed a good premium, in my opinion, a good top tier food. So like New Life Spectrum, the Veggie are good for these. Anything with spirulina is going to definitely bring out the blues in these fish. And we did that for the first couple months, and then we actually have switched over to 3 days a week feeding our fish raw shrimp. And then 1 day a week we feed frozen bloodworms. 1 day a week we will feed either live night crawlers or red wigglers, and then 2 days out of the week we'll feed strictly pellet. On the days that we do not feed pellet as the main source, or excuse me, let me rephrase this. The days that we feed the other foods like the shrimp, the bloodworms, crickets, whatever it may be, we still feed the pellets. The pellets are the staple for this fish. But from my opinion, for maximum growth from these fish, you do want to give them a good protein source to see them grow. And that definitely holds true for this guy. He has shot up since May. We got him at about 2 inches, and here he is at about 7.5 to 8 in October. I believe this to be the female. She is by far the smallest geophagus at maybe 3 inches. And we have this guy back here, and this one, and also this one. This is another fish that I highly recommend for a bottom dwelling fish. They will come up into the middle of the water column, but they primarily like to stay at the bottom. They need sand pretty much to sift through and keep their gills healthy, from what I understand. So what we've actually done is bought the granulated pebbles, and we add them in here about once a month, I guess, actually, like a 5-pound bag. You can actually see them over here. We'll dump these in one spot and actually feed them over here, and they know to come here for their food source. Having the geos is a pretty cool thing to see. Having them actually eat and go through their daily functions. They're constantly picking and fighting with each other. They're finally starting to color up. I will say the Hikari Vibrabots is something that we feed them that has really helped them bring out the reds. Yeah, kind of straight off on that. It's supposed to be about our electric bluejack dempsey, but all these other fish are so enjoyable. Really, build a bond with all these fish. I'm not sure that they do, but I personally do. We try to treat these fish just like we would treat any other animal, as everyone should, and give them adequate space, clean water, clean food, good quality food. Let's see. Get a little footage of this guy. We do have some other tanks as well. Actually, we have 6 total tanks we're gonna be posting on here regularly, showing some of our other fish, but this just seems to be the one that I like the most currently. If you guys have any questions about any of these fish, I'd be more than glad to discuss them with you. We may be able to actually converse and help one another out. I appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day to watch and see what our channel looks like and how our fish are doing. We'll be documenting these fish hopefully for the entirety of their lives. Thanks.